Hello and welcome to CNBC-TV18.com presents Powering the Next Generation Network with 5G. I'm Mridhu Bhandari. Connectivity is undergoing an evolutionary change. The promise of 5G in building a connected world has captured the attention of business leaders as well as policymakers around the globe. As existing connectivity technologies continuously expand as well as evolve, we are gradually tapping into the opportunities and challenges presented by network transformation. We are exploring how next-gen communication can actually go from passive consumption into far more interactive and immersive visual experiences. Today, we are primarily discussing how artificial intelligence and video would be trendsetters going forward and how they are going to be key drivers of 5G consumption in India. And to throw more light on this, I'm joined by a very eminent panel of experts. Let me welcome Tasleem Arif, Vice President India and R&D Head at Oppo Mobiles India. Professor Abhay Karandikar, Director of IIT Kanpur and member of the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India. Kuldeep Malik, Director Corporate Sales at MediaTek. And Prabhu Ram, Head of Industry Intelligence Group, Cyber Media Research. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us here today. Well, amongst the host of emerging technologies that the world is keenly watching, exploring, and observing, one that will be a true game changer is 5G. So let me get first, quick reactions from each of you on how you see 5G changing our world. Tasleem, if I can begin by asking you.
Thanks, Mridhu. First of all, I want to say thanks to CNBC TV 18 team for inviting me. It's a great honor to be a part of this discussion with our distinguished panelists. As Mridhu, you asked how the 5G is a game changer. So to give you this answer, I want to take you to the evolution of the communication technology. If you see in early 90s, when the first 2G launched, that time the main problem the consumer was having was the audio and the SMS. Then it evolved further. In the early 2000, internet came in the picture. That time the 3G technology came, and which further got strengthened with the 4G in 2010. But the way now the consumer behavior is getting changed, and the way the new technology, new infra is building up, now you see the next transition is going to happen. Now the transition in this, now multiple device connectivity through the IoT technology, augmented reality, artificial intelligence is getting popular. And also due to the popularity and the mass reach of the internet, now you see that data consumption in the consumer is increased a lot. Now the consumption of ultra HD videos had tremendously increased. So the way the consumer behavior is changing, the way the consumption of data is increasing, I believe now 5G technology is going to be work as an enabler. So here's the two part is there. One, the consumer side, for which 5G is going to be work as an enabler, but at the same time, let me tell you the another aspect of 5G technology. Here in this, the way 5G technology evolved step by step. Now we have non-standalone, standalone support. We have dynamic spectrum sharing. It is these technology that help all the stakeholders, either is the network equipment vendors, either is the carrier, chipset vendor, or OEMs. It helped them to move from 4G to 5G more efficiently. So considering these 4 points, consumer and the way 5G evolved, definitely this together is going to be the game changer.
Right. Okay. So let me also ask Professor Abhay, for some of the potential use cases of 5G, especially in critical sectors like healthcare, like education, agriculture, governance, etc. What sort of new potential will 5G unlock for all of these?
So I think as all of you know that in India, the cell phones are the primary devices now for the broadband connectivity. I mean, unlike in the US or in the Western world, where the broadband connectivity has been mostly provided through fiber to the home, in India, cell phones have become the primary broadband connectivity device. And in this context, therefore, it is really very important that the broadband experience of a consumer on a cell phone is significantly improved, and enhanced mobile broadband use case of the 5G will enable that by giving a throughput which is several orders of magnitude higher than what we are getting today in maybe 3G or a 4G kind of technology. So one of the most important use case, therefore, in the Indian context will be primary broadband connectivity of several orders of magnitude to the consumers, and I believe that to be the most important use case. And that use case only will drive many applications. For example, for the work from home today, as we are seeing now during this COVID-19 pandemic, the gig economy and the digital nomads, where there are people are working from home, there the 5G enhanced mobile broadband will play an extremely critical and important role. And the Tasleem has already talked about the billions of devices getting connected through IoT, and this IoT sensors will also have a significant role to play in the health sector or in the agriculture or in the transportation sectors and so on. So I believe that these are the two most important use cases in the Indian context: the primary broadband and the enhanced mobile broadband connectivity, and the IoT use cases in the healthcare and the agriculture sectors.
Indeed, sir. Like you said, perhaps the smartphone is the most powerful weapon that we all have these days, and a constructive one at that. Let me also ask you, Prabhu, your insights, on how enterprise as well as consumer experiences are set to see a tremendous shift post 5G.
So the rise of 5G and next generation technologies such as artificial intelligence offers enormous potential and promise for transforming smartphones into truly intuitive and smart enablers of human lives. Through this year, the COVID-19 pandemic has emphasized how important is connectivity in enabling human lives. As we navigated through the pandemic, the work from home and quarantine routines actually gave rise to an unprecedented stick to video creation and video consumption. And as we move forward in the post-pandemic era, 5G will actually redefine smart and enable consumers to experience seamless and personalized experiences on their phones and other IoT devices as such. What consumers will be able to do is achieve more and live life to the maximum. Just imagine faster speeds, faster downloads, increased bandwidth and low latency as such. So that would be the promise of 5G era for all of us.
Right. And Kuldeep, what about you? You are bringing 5G to the next generation of PCs. How do you see the world around us changing?
I think a lot of panelists have already shared a view. I would just like to summarize that as the whole second telecom market holds a huge space. So we all believe that the Indian telecom market is definitely the most growing market. And after China, we all know how India market is growing up. So going forward, the next engine is going to be the telecom market. So since the pandemic has also hit the world, the telecom industry have been supporting the world economy and enabling the online ecosystem. So we all know how we have cope up during all these 8-9 months. I think the deployment of 5G will be a game changer as it transform the sectors with an array of application use cases. So sectors such as manufacturing, energy, utilities, smart cities, public safety, corporate, and transport will be the focus for next 5G adoption in India. And I believe 5G will positively impact in telecom market as the data consumption is going to go upward, and due to high-end adoption of technology, the future drive next generation will not only support user for its day-to-day affair, but it is also going to help to make it more smarter and faster with better internet services.
So let's also talk a little bit about what's happening in other parts of the world as far as 5G is concerned. Prabhu, what are some of the trends that you're seeing emerging, in countries like China or in some of the developed nations of the European Union? What assumptions can we draw from their 5G experiences for us here in India?
So sure, as I mentioned before, the smartphones are the conduit for consumers to enjoy an array of connected experiences. While 5G is still very nascent in those developed markets, our research at CMR has pointed out how early 5G users in geographies like China and Western Europe are leveraging 5G through the course of this pandemic. As per our research, the most attractive benefit of 5G for early 5G smartphone users in a homebound economy has been undoubtedly video, especially video creation. And amidst the pandemic, consumers have been able to do more, whether it be work from home, learn from home, or unwind from home. Whether it be early technology adopters keen on embracing the latest technology, or premium smartphone users who look at their smartphones as an extension of their lifestyle, there is a strong consumer interest in India in embracing 5G ready smartphones. This is with an eye on the future. And as 5G networks become more ubiquitous and mainstream, I believe there would be new cases that would emerge which are not prevalent as of today. And in doing so, there will be increased focus at the consumer's end on the overall quality of experience. So there's a lot to look forward to as such.
Right, absolutely. A lot to look forward to. But Professor Abhay, like Prabhu was just saying, 5G is still at a very nascent stage, especially in India. But what are some of the early challenges that other global markets have been seeing that we could perhaps learn from?
So I think one of the biggest challenges, the availability of the spectrum. And so I think that is what, first of all, the government has to make spectrum available. The second challenge for the deployment of the 5G is the backhaul connectivity. Now, as the radio interface, the throughput or the data rate increases, we also need a proportionate increase in the mobile backhaul. And this may need either the fiber connectivity or some, the wireless backhaul connectivity like in the E band or V band and so on. And finally, of course, India is a very cost-sensitive market. So in order to have a widespread proliferation of the devices in the Indian market, we would also need the devices to be affordable at a right price point in order to have its proliferation.
Right. Okay. And Taslim, what is the Oppo view on 5G in the Indian context vis-a-vis the rest of the world?
As you know, the 5G is a globally unified communication standard. And Oppo, as we had the honor in early 2015 to be the only device manufacturer participating in the global push for unification of a standard, and has now become the most influential smartphone manufacturer, contributing to the development of 5G standard. If you see, we started in 2018, we have launched many 5G devices in Europe market. And now if you see globally, there are approx 92 operators in 38 countries and regions have deployed 5G. Even they had not done fully, but slowly they are increasing their capacity. But from the experience, the one which we got after launching the 5G, we found that after the 5G is given to the consumer, the data consumption increased tremendously. That's why, if in last year, we were the first OEM who had launched the 5G WhatsApp call, and the kind of response and acknowledgement we had received, that really helped to boost us that India is going to be ready with the 5G network. And as I mentioned, as Abhay and other panelists also mentioned, this is the technology which required the readiness from all sides, and operators is also going to play a key role. And we, as a Hyderabad local India R&D, we are very closely working with all the operator. We are doing lab tests with all the top Indian operators and making sure that whichever device we are launching now, even if the local network is not ready, but we are making sure that when we launch our 5G device, and once the operator side they enable the 5G, then the Oppo user they can use their 5G device very properly. So that's the one which we are working on, and definitely the ecosystem which is keep building in the India market also. So all together, I believe a lot of new services is going to come, considering that the 5G is going to come in next 1 or 2 years, because almost all the operators are working on this. So I'm seeing that in next 1 and 2 years, India will be ready for the 5G.
Okay, and bunch of interesting insights you shared there, Tasleem, particularly as far as consumer behavior is concerned. Prabhu, CMR has also been doing a lot of research, especially on the future readiness of India as far as 5G implementation is concerned. Give us a sense of what your top key findings have been and what are the gaps that need filling.
So, yeah, as you rightly mentioned, we keep a tab on the changing consumer expectations and, trying to understand how technology would then evolve. Our most recent 5G study, this is the 5G Future Now study, it focused on understanding perspectives of consumers from across 3 different markets, China, Western Europe, and predominantly India. The study actually offers a compelling narrative in terms of what 5G posits for the consumer, the early benefit that 5G users are seeing, and what the 5G intenders in India are expecting from 5G introduction as such. Interestingly enough, we see heightened consumer interest and awareness and optimism when it comes to 5G in India, and early technology adopters and premium smartphone users are seeking to upgrade to 5G ready devices, and this is with the expectation of future proofing themselves. While doing so, they are looking at enabling themselves from the overall user point of view, the experience point of view, and enjoying a seamless video-led future, faster downloads and immersive AR and VR experiences as 5G starts coming into India.
Right. Professor Abhay, adding to what Prabhu just said, what according to you will be the technology expectations of the future, especially from the smartphone industry in the 5G era? Also, how do you see video consumption really driving 5G usage, and how do you see consumer evolution as far as India is concerned as compared to the rest of the world?
Yeah, so I think as all the panelists have mentioned, definitely the video will be the biggest application on the smartphone, and particularly in India, as you know, that the entertainment is like as a big industry, and most Indian consumers slowly, there is also a shift that is taking place where the people are watching now the movies and entertainment more and more via OTT applications on the smartphones. So this consumption is certainly going to increase. With the kind of throughput and the latency that will be available with the 5G, we are likely to see an exponential growth in the video adoption by the smartphone users. One more thing I would like to say, that with the use of analytics engine and the AI at the back end, it will also be possible to do personalization of contents delivery to the users, and it may be also possible, targeted delivery or targeted advertisements and things like this may also be possible. And therefore, with these applications becoming possible, the video on demand and the video delivery will even more become personalized and enriching experience from a consumer perspective.
Right. And Tasleem, adding on to that, there is a lot of talk about artificial intelligence and 5G having an extremely symbiotic relationship. Where do you see the synergy between the two? And of course, like everyone's been saying, video is set to trend far more, especially in the 5G era. How do you think AI will drive video technology into the future?
Actually, the 5G and AI are not just a complementary technology, but will provide the synergy further for the connected ecosystem growth. And as you know, how the AI works, to be a mature AI, you need to be large data set. And also you need to do heavy cloud computing. So that was the earlier limitation. So for that, all this computation was happening offline. But now, once the 5G comes in the picture, this limitation is resolved. So now you have the 5G. Based on that, you can build the AI platform, and from the top of the AI platform, you can build the ecosystem and you can build the services. And as I mentioned that we, Oppo, as a camera pioneer, we always believe that the multimedia side, we need to keep innovating. Earlier, we are doing a lot of innovation on the picture side, but now once we see the consumer behavior, because as Oppo, we are always consumer-centric company, so we always believe that what exactly consumer want. And as I mentioned that with the when we analyze the consumer behavior of Europe, where 5G network is there, we found that the video consumption is increased a lot. So considering that one, now we have done a lot of new innovation, and that help us to develop the video super anti-shake technology, wide angle lens, video zoom, AI real-time beautification, and exciting future to help our user to achieve movie-level standard even while they are shooting.
Right. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. Undoubtedly, large-scale 5G adoption and implementation is going to open up incredible opportunities for citizens as well as businesses around the world. Consumer experiences will become far more enriched, especially with immersive experiences with video, and 5G coupled with other technologies will transform our world like never before. Appreciate you all joining us here today and sharing those very valuable insights. Until next time, thank you for joining us. Goodbye.